Hey there, I'm Joe Carter. If you've ever popped the hood and thought, where do I even start? You're in good company. Around here, we take the mystery out of car repair, one fix at a time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're into learning without the headaches. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into
Soviet oil refining industry produced the fuel, Solar Oil GOST 1666-42 and GOST 1666-51. It was intended for use as a diesel fuel for medium speed, with crankshaft speed not exceeding 1000 rpm, diesel engines. It was used, as a rule, for agricultural and other special equipment, and everyone knew it under the name Soliarka or Soliera. Solar oil is unsuitable for refueling modern cars with high-speed internal combustion engines. Division of diesel fuel according to GOST 305-82, diesel fuel is divided depending on the season of use into the following types: summer, remains liquid only up to 5°C. It is recommended to use it at air temperatures above 0 Celsius. The weight of 1 cubic meter of summer diesel fuel should be no more than 860 kilograms. In turn, the weight of a cubic meter of winter diesel fuel should be no more than 840 kilograms. The weight of a cubic meter of Arctic diesel fuel should not exceed 830 kilograms. Measuring the weight of diesel fuel GOST prescribes at 20 degrees Celsius. Measurement of specific weight fuel density is measured using areometers. The density of diesel fuel is measured with areometers for petroleum products whose names begin with the letters AH, for example, such as ANT1 or ANT2. The greater the percentage of diesel fuel that is made up of hydrocarbons with a high specific gravity, the greater the density of the diesel fuel. On the one hand, combustion of such diesel fuel releases more energy, on the other hand, it vaporizes worse, is heavier to ignite, and does not burn in the cylinders without residue. Since vaporization and ignition is easier in summer, the specific gravity of summer diesel fuel is higher than that of winter diesel fuel. Since GOST prescribes to measure the density of diesel fuel at a temperature of 20 C, to correctly determine the density, you should bring the container with diesel fuel home and wait for it to warm up in winter and cool down to plus 20 C in summer. If you do not have time to wait, you can measure the parameter you are interested in and the temperature of DT, and then recalculate what the result will be at 20 C. To do this, you need to know that reducing the temperature of diesel fuel by 1 C increases its specific gravity by an average of 0.0007 G cm3. An increase in temperature decreases the density by the same amount. Calculating the specific gravity for 20 C. How to calculate the specific gravity for 20 C, measure the density and average temperature of solar oil. Calculate the difference between the actual temperature and 20 C. Multiply the temperature difference by the correction factor. If the actual temperature is less than 20 C, subtract the result of the third calculation from the density value at this temperature. If the liquid is warmer than plus 20 C, then these values should be added together. For example, the density of a fuel at a temperature of 0 C is 0.997 G cm3. The difference between the actual temperature and 20 C is 20. Then 20 times 0.0007 is equal to 0.014 G cm. Since at 20 C the density of the fuel will be less than at 0 C, we must subtract the correction value from the density at 0 C. 0.997 minus 0.14 is equal to 0.857 G cm3. To convert the result from grams per cubic centimeter to kilograms per cubic meter, we need to multiply the value expressed in grams per cubic centimeter by 1000. That is, the specific gravity of our diesel fuel at 20 C will be 857 kilograms per m3. This allows us to make the assumption that, judging from the results of the calculation, it is more likely to be summer than winter. It is not possible to draw a precise conclusion about the season for which the fuel is intended on the basis of its density value. Relationship between fuel density and diesel fuel economy. Since combustion of high specific gravity diesel fuel is accompanied by the release of more energy than combustion of less dense fuel, it is obvious that the use of summer fuel is more economical. However, its use to improve the efficiency of diesel in the cold season is not possible. This is explained by the fact that its composition, in addition to kerosene gas oil hydrocarbons, containing the main energy reserve of the fuel, includes dissolved paraffins. The latter, even with a slight decrease in fuel temperature, solidify, thickening the fuel and worsening the passability of the fuel fine filter. As a result, the ability of fuel to be pumped through the supply system and atomized in the engine cylinders deteriorates. Therefore, winter diesel fuels contain additives that slow down the solidification of paraffins and thicken the fuel to a gel state. These additives, reducing the temperature of fuel thickening, do not affect its density at all. It is logical to assume that if an anti-gel additive is added to flight fuel, the result will be an economical winter fuel. But this is far from being the case, because the additive will only reduce the freezing point of paraffins dissolved in the fuel. In conclusion, understanding how to calculate the density of diesel fuel is essential for various applications, from optimizing engine performance to ensuring accurate fuel measurements. By recognizing the impact of temperature on density, you can make informed decisions that enhance efficiency and safety. Remember to use the appropriate formulas and consider the specific conditions of your environment. With this knowledge, you can confidently tackle any task that involves diesel fuel density calculations. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found this information helpful.